Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And now that the Q1 numbers are out from Verizon, the earnings call took place, wanted to offer some additional commentary on some positives and some negatives from the quarter. So Verizon titled its article, Verizon begins 2023 with rapid network expansion and the most broadband additions in over a decade. So for the quarter, they spent an additional 1.75 billion for the C-band build, so that is going very quickly. And in total, they spent $6 billion for the quarter for the first quarter on capex. Right? Let that sink in. T-Mobile's going to spend 9 to 10 billion. Verizon spent that in a quarter. So that's further acceleration for the network. They are going to continue growing that. Now, keep in mind, we got to be objective about this. This is going to take Verizon time, right? The rural build out, the modernization, there is a lot of landmass to cover. But the spending is allowing them to accelerate that. So maybe they haven't gone to your area yet, but they'll get there, right? They need time. They just hit 200 million pops. To get to 250 is going to take time. To get to 300 is going to take time. Eventually, they'll get there with their 200 megahertz of C-band. Most rural areas have 200 contiguous. They will eventually get there, and they will eventually get more aggressive in those parts as they continue spending. So the remainder of the capex for the year is set at between 18.25 to 19.25 billion. That's where they're anticipated to come in, which is a great amount of spending, if you will. If you look at Verizon's Fios footprint, it's nowhere near as large as AT&T's fiber footprint. So there isn't too much that's being spent on capex on that. Their biggest spend outside of wireless is likely One Fiber. They're trying to get all of their sites connected to One Fiber. They would probably like all of their sites, but across that, 50 to 60% of the footprint that they now have One Fiber deployed, they're still having to connect all of their cell sites within that footprint up to One Fiber. There's still some cell sites that aren't connected yet, so they still have some work to do there. And then, of course, the small cells that they're deploying in that footprint, they're deploying One Fiber to those small cells as well. So that's going to take, some capital as well out of that 19.25 billion at the max that they want to be at. So broadband, they don't seem to have any issues with growing broadband. So anything that was anticipated, the market anticipated growth on business, that happened, and the market anticipated growth on broadband, and that happened. But the market anticipated losses on consumer and prepaid, and that was the case. They lost 263,000 customers on the postpaid consumer, and they lost 351,000 on prepaid. Those are massive losses. Yes, they were able to offset some of those losses with prepaid gains, but let's not deflect. They still lost 263,000 postpaid consumers. And I think that's concerning, in my opinion. That is very concerning. And Verizon really hasn't changed much to make you say, hey, well, maybe they don't have that many losses in the second quarter. May 15th, that'll be a date that I have saved. Maybe we see something. But the fact that Verizon, or I should say Hans Vestberg, said in the fourth quarter earnings to judge us on revenue and not growth, and they were down on revenue in this first quarter, that has me thinking like maybe they do a price hike again. Maybe they do introduce new plans that are more expensive. That's what had that's where I was going when he said that, and then saying, and then it shows today the revenues are down. So they're confused. It's the Hans is the worst leader Verizon has ever had, in my opinion. Way worse than McDowell and any of them that were before him. And I don't see a drastic change, even with May 15th, right, coming. I don't see a drastic change from Verizon anywhere in the short term. I still maintain it's going to have to be a change in leadership for them to have a massive change in the direction of that company. Until then, they're going to take more losses. Prepaid track phone, that's a dumpster fire. That's it's going to take time to fix that, of course, but it's just losses after losses. And then, yeah, we're deflecting a little bit. SafeLink, I get it. 3G, I get it. You know, that shut down. But they had no momentum anyway. So it wasn't like they were just going to magically offset and post gains. They had a bad 2022, and 2023 is already starting off bad. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. I look forward to reading your comments. Leave all your opinions in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.